And so now we arrive at our Camaraderie Question of the Week. Bosses build camaraderie on teams by making it easier for people to find things in common with each other. That's why every week we give you a question that you can use at meetings, in huddles, when you gather people together, to facilitate connection and build camaraderie. And so this week's Camaraderie Question of the Week is about superpowers. Alyssa, if you could grant yourself one superpower, what would it be and why?
Okay. Well, it so happens that this coincides with we're letting our son watch some superhero movies for the first time. So this is top of the mind. There's so many choices. But what comes to my mind, I don't know, maybe I'm ever the dork. I don't know. But I think, okay, well, I could think of some kind of physical strength thing or some kind of something, but I could train myself to be like a warrior goddess. It's possible. I'm not saying I'm, there yet. But
you mean in terms of strength and stamina and physique and
yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. I could try to think about some kind of mental aptitude that I stopping time or something like that. That might be kind of cool. But I feel like I might turn evil if I did something like that. I could be swayed to the dark side pretty easily with power like that. So I know myself enough to not trust myself with that, which leads me to my answer.
You've put some thought into this.
I have, in the circular logic that is my brain, but I would like an unwavering, unrelenting trust of self as my superpower.
Faith in your own everything.
Yes, trust in my own actions, thoughts, words, spirit, the whole shebang. I want unrelenting, unwavering trust in myself. No inner voice that goes, I don't know. Are you sure? No, I know it. I'm just 100% always trusting of myself.
How interesting that when it came to physical strength and stamina, you identified that as something you could build up. But you did not give voice to that same belief with regard to this superpower. Not a physical strength and stamina, but the strength and stamina in your soul of your person.
Joe, I'm supposed to be the coach.
What's that about?
Well, I think probably because it is something that I continually have to work on. And it is something that does not come easily to me. The only thing easy about it is the erosion of it very quickly. But you're absolutely right. The parallels are, I can still work hard. I am working hard every day to maintain that level of trust within myself, to grow it, to fuel it. And so it is obtainable as well. Maybe that's my superpower, is being able to then
believing that it's possible.
Yes, that hope and that possibility of self.
Yes. Well, I know you've talked about this a little bit on some previous episodes about your inner critic, about the ways in which you are hard on yourself with that inner voice. I know that resonates with so many folks who listen to our podcast. I know that it takes an incredible amount of courage to sit in a box on a YouTube recording and be vulnerable and be willing to let that vulnerability be shared with the entire world as this podcast continues to gain an audience. And I just want to express both my gratitude and my admiration to you for your willingness to lay yourself bare in that way in the service of others who are listening to our podcast.
Thank you. Well, okay. So now, super coach, what is your superpower other than just being an amazing storyteller and coacher of me?
So this something that happened to me before is happening to me again, which is where when you lay my desired superpower up against another person's, I am small and selfish. Because after giving it some thought, I've decided that the superpower I want is Jedi mind control. So if you're familiar with it from Star Wars, right? When Obi-Wan says, these are not the droids you're looking for. The Stormtrooper says, these are not the droids we're looking for. Move on your way. Move on your way. This, to me, would be a phenomenal superpower to have for entirely selfish reasons. And let me fully acknowledge it is terribly unethical to mind control other people. But let's think about all the benefits, right? First of all, you call for a doctor's appointment. They answer the phone and you say, you can see me at my earliest convenience. We can see you at your earliest convenience. You go to a restaurant and you say, how long's the wait? And when they open their mouth to answer, you say, we can seat you right away. And they go, we can seat you right away. You say, when somebody calls you up, we're considering you as our keynote speaker for this massive conference, Joe. And I say, you want me as your keynote speaker at full fee with expenses paid. And they say, we want you, Joe Mull, as our keynote speaker at your full fee with expenses paid. Jedi mind control is where it's at, Alyssa. That would be my chosen superpower.
You two have given this just a wee bit of thought. Wee bit.
You know what's really funny, though? I asked this question of my team a few months ago. We were doing, we had just hired Jamie, our director of outreach and business development, a few months back. And so we were doing a virtual full team meeting. And so I brought this question to them as a fun way just to get folks chatting a little bit. And it was my turn, and I answered in the way that I just did. I talked about Jedi mind control and how you could get a table at the restaurant and a doctor's appointment, whatever you want, and get booked at full fee. And then I turned to Jamie, who was next to me, and I said, "What about you? What would you say?" And she said, "Healing."
Jamie,
I would cure cancer and sick kids. And I went, yeah, that's pretty good. That's better than
you
mine.
suck, Joe.
Oh,
period. Exclamation point.
So of course, when you show up with, I want to banish my inner critic and be, more trusting in myself, and I'm like, yeah, but I can get a doctor's appointment whenever I want. I mean, that's pretty selfish by comparison.
But it's all this is the yin and the yang. This is why it works. This is why this works. Yeah.
I feel compelled to shout out my friend Denise Jacobs, who is a fellow speaker and author, and she does a lot of work around banishing your inner critic. And she has written about this. She has done some incredible speaking all around the world. Recently, she was able to sub for Brene Brown overseas when Brene Brown had to cancel last minute. She is the real deal, y'all, and has a lot to say about the ways in which we can be kinder and stronger to our own inner voices. And so check her out online. Check out some of her writing. I will link to her stuff in our show notes over on BossBetterNowPodcast.com. And that is our camaraderie question of the week.